that red, the green there heading towards, Tony.
All right, I want to switch it on over to WSI. Alex was giving me the opportunity to kind of give you a different perspective on WSI. There's the tornado-warned area. There's that wind shear now right over towards Chuliota, and that's going to lift up towards the north and the east. Big hail core, too, with this particular thunderstorm, almost 1 to 1 1/4 inch diameter hail, and that is quickly approaching 46 just to the south and
Tony.
east there of the Geneva. Another tornado warning.
Yeah, this one's intense, too. Let me go.
Go ahead and take that away.
I'm going to go ahead and switch this back here and take a look at this one. If we can get back over to links, this is an impressive looking couplet right here. You can see that bright green right next to the red there. That's showing where that tornado is. If we go ahead and loop this is the one I was watching earlier with you, Tony, that it's really moving right over towards Rockledge, up towards Cocoa as well. This warning goes until 7 o'clock as well. Looks like it's moving about the same speed. So I'm going to go ahead and estimate that at about 25 miles an hour up towards the north and the east. So we'll go ahead and stop that. I'm going to put this track on it right here up towards the north and the east, about 20 to 25 miles an hour. And that's going to be right on top of Rockledge within about 6:45. So within about 13 minutes or so. Cocoa about 6:46. Cape Canaveral around 7 o'clock. And then Merritt Island around 7:14. That's a very impressive couplet.
Let's do this, Alex. I want to stay on this, but I want to go back to WSI, and I'm going to have you drive down towards Cocoa. We're going to go back and forth between both Seminole and Brevard County, but let's go back to WSI.
Yep, I got you.
Let's use the tornado-warned area. Let's drill down, because I just feel like when I look at this as a viewer from home, I just feel like I can see the map a lot more clearly. And there it is. There's 95. There's, again, Cocoa. Let's see if you go back to that reflectivity product there real quickly. Right there. Yeah, you see that little hook, right just to the southwest of 520 there. That is that area where if there's going to be a tornado, and we have no confirmation of that right now, that, folks, is where it would be. And as Alex alluded to, this is moving to the northeast. So let's kind of drag this towards the 524, head northeast, Alex. We want to get folks there in and around the Cocoa area, along US 1, the beach line 528, and we have cameras over there. So if we can effort a camera either at 95 or 528 over there in this portion of Brevard County, that would be absolutely fantastic. Keep that shot right there, Alex. Let's take a look at that velocity product one more time right there.
Give me a second. I'm just updating this cone a little bit here. So here's the velocity, Melbourne. That's the reflectivity. Here's the velocity here. I mean, right down to the south. That's a pretty impressive couplet. If we go ahead and query that,
gate wind shears.
Winds, I mean, 60. That's 60.
Yep. And if you loop that, just to kind of give folks in Rockledge in the Edgewater area some perspective here, let's just zoom it out just a teeny bit wider so we can kind of gauge where this thing is headed. There's Rockledge, and you can see it is moving in that general vicinity off towards the north and the east. Again, once you get east of 95, the population centers increase big time. So that's the concern here. Whereas with that cell up in Seminole County, there are people there, and we're going to go back to there in a second, but this is a much more significant area because of the population. Rockledge, over towards Indianola, back towards Merritt Island right there. You need to take shelter immediately. If you can hit the hail button there real quick. Alex, let's see what we got. And what size hailstones you got there if you query that.
A little under an inch there.
All right, and let's drill back down one more time so I can see some streets there.
Go ahead and do that.
Zooming in there. So it's just southwest of Rockledge. It's coming at you. It's right over 95. We saw what happened along 95 yesterday with the DOTs and the hail that was over there. So again, right over 95, that is going to build up towards the north and the east. And the interactions, once that gets over the river there, is going to be interesting. All right, back to Geneva.
And
Alex is driving.
Tony,
go ahead.
We got on the National Weather Service chat here, train spotter confirms at least a funnel cloud near Chuliota. So we're watching that. That's this cell right here, that tornado warning.
Yeah, let's go back to those pictures, guys, in the back right there, that hail core that we were, right there. That's perfect. So that's 40. And do we have the velocity product? Look at that hail, ½ inch to a 1 inch diameter hail. That's some very large hail yet again. Now, when we loop this is where you're going to see the twisting, right in there. That's what caught the eye of us, and that's what has caught the eye of the National Weather Service as well. So this is going to drift off towards the north and the east, potentially, if it holds together could be an issue for folks up towards the Scottsmore area. So that's one of the things that we're going to have to watch. Another interesting cell, Alex, as you look towards the south and the east right there, just east of US 1 and south and east of Titusville. So lots of little couplets here all of a sudden that have kind of come together here. This on the northern side of that tornado warning cell, and then you've got the other one that appears to be stretching on out, maybe weakening, hopefully, as it's approaching and going right over I-95 right now. How does that hail core look?
Let's take a look. I'm reading the chat as well. Looks like Canaveral Groves are reporting hail of 1-inch size. And that tornado warning, they just continued it near Chuliota, moving east at 20 miles an hour now. So it's a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. That's the one where they saw a train spotter saw at least a funnel cloud. But the hail core still looking quite impressive, moving right towards Rockledge. And then again, when we look at this velocity product, again, we don't want to see those reds next to the green. That's rotation. That's radar indicated rotation. The brighter the colors, the faster the winds, and that's moving right over towards Rockledge, right towards Cocoa. So if I put a track on this, again, now that it's moving about 20 miles an hour, if I drag that up there we go, about 20 to 25. Rockledge, about 11 more minutes. That's going to be near you. Get inside. You want to get indoors, get away from the windows. Indianola, up towards 16 minutes, 20 minutes. It should be right on top of Merritt Island. That's one of the cells out there, Tony.
Yep. So a lot going on here all of a sudden. Again, we're getting this collision now, this interaction, and there's multiple little.
That
one is very. That one to me looks more impressive than the one down to the south.
Yeah.
But it's over the river there, and they're obviously going to be watching that for the Kennedy Parkway, just east of Indian River City. But yeah, can you go ahead and loop that? I just want to see the evolution of that there real quickly. Yeah, see, you've got that land and you've got that river interaction right there, and that's what's helping this one to really kind of spring some life back into that particular cell. So we're going to watch that for north of the Nassau Parkway. Let's go. Yeah, thank you for sliding up that way. I was just going to ask you to do that. This one, Alex, still holding together and going right over 46 right now, bending off towards the east-northeast. What he said is about 20 miles an hour. So we're going to continue to watch that. You heard him talking about funnel clouds. I just saw a report of 1-inch diameter hail as well in between the two. He's going to put a fan on that as we're trying to give folks there in northern Brevard County enough advance notice and warning to make preparations, as this one is continuing now to lift up to the northeast and should be in Scottsmore in roughly about 24 minutes. Looks like we just lost that image there with our own radar. So we're kind of using the Weather Service radar, the terminal Doppler radar from these two particular areas. Let's take a look at the reflectivity product there real quick. I'm just curious to see what the cell looks like north of Port St. John. Is that our radar now back up?
Yes.
That's what I thought. Yes. That's the first volume scan, as we call that, folks. And you're not going to be able to loop that because there's only the one image because we've been down there for a while. So I wouldn't loop it. But you can see sharps and back towards Rockledge. There's over towards Cape Canaveral.
Look, we get velocity from that. Okay.
Yeah, that's going to be. I would stick with Melbourne. I would stick, because it's kind of a little bit dirty
that's
looking there.
Like it's tightened up a bit.
Yeah, it has. And again, let's take a look at the movement there as we kind of loop it, just to kind of see if it's turning. Sometimes, folks, when you get these stronger storms, we get what's called a right turner. Now, there's a brand new image right there. That very, very, very last one may be a hint of weakening on that last volume scan there on approach to the Rockledge. Just scooch the screen over a little more so we can see Rockledge at home for the folks. Yeah, there we go. There's Cocoa, there's Rockledge, there's Edgewood. That whole area right there we're going to watch. And the hail core has been maintaining itself just to the west of I-95 this afternoon with this particular thunderstorm. That's one of the other things that we've been noticing as it's been lifting up towards the north and the east. So let's take a look, Alex, if you don't mind, go back to that reflectivity product on that screen right there.
Do you want this first?
Barron's, yeah, go ahead.
So right now, this is, again, our Barron buttons, the impact tracker in that black right in there, heading right, it looks like right between Cocoa and over towards Rockledge. If I go ahead and...
2-inch diameter?
Yeah, 2-inch diameter hail. Yep. I'm going to try to go back here to the radars. Bear with me here, and we'll take a look at the hail in these storms here. With WSI, and that's looking pretty impressive. This is near Geneva along 46 now.
Funnel cloud being reported now just to the west of Rockledge. Funnel cloud being reported now just to the west of Rockledge.
And that hail there, you can see it's pretty spread out there now too, Tony.
Yep, yeah. If we loop that, though, I want to see something. Yeah. Usually when it's a ball of energy, that's when we're a bit more concerned. But in this case, and when you have the interaction with the sea breeze, it's a whole different animal. So we've got to watch that, and we don't want to say it's safe. But again, that right there is still a mid-level rotation, but is not as classic looking as the rotation that we had there just a short time ago. Let's go ahead and go back to the reflectivity product one more time from Melbourne. And you can that's our own EEC radar. But if we switch that radar over to MLB, and so you can clearly see what's going on with that cell. Moving off towards the east-northeast. Again, multiple reports now from viewers and from folks, train spotters in that area of rotation. They did tornado warn now. Did you see that? Yep. The brand new tornado warning. This is going to come back over off of the river there and back over towards the NASA Parkway. And there's
until 7:15.
Yep, there we go. So multiple tornado warnings now in Brevard County. Again, this is going to go just north of the Nassau Parkway there, NASA Parkway, over towards the Kennedy, Kennedy Lane up there. Parkway. Yeah, exactly.
I don't know where Falcon Heavy is.
I was just going to ask you that. Yeah. So we're going to have to watch that. And then let's go back up towards Seminole County here real quick. And kind of see what's going on. There's Geneva, there's Tuliota. Let's do the reflectivity product here real quick, if you don't mind.
Yep.
And then I'm going to have you, here's what I want you to do. Come back to the southwest, put a fan on that, take it to the Scottsmore area. I want to give folks an ETA. Yeah, right there. That view right there is fantastic. We'll do it from the core there, right along 46. Perfect. Love that. 23 minutes. Scottsmore, 23 minutes before this particular thunderstorm does indeed head your way. Now let's take that off. Let's zoom it down. I want to go right into, if we go a little more street level there, just north of 46, Alex. I want to kind of walk through this there.
Yep.
There's not a whole lot there. It's a pretty rural area, but you can see the Dragonfly Run, just to mention a couple of roads there. You're a little closer to it. I'm a little bit older. Yep. If you want to read a few, I'm okay with that.
Cedar Hammock Road out towards the east. So this is about to cross over. There's the Seminole and Brevard County border. Just north of Southmere is where this is heading. Freedom Road over towards Cedar Hammock Road. Again, this is all moving over towards Baytown Spur Road, and then eventually it's going to be moving right over towards I-95. The warning ends right along that Brevard County, Volusia County, Seminole County border area right there, the kind of south and west of Oak Hill. It looks like it's starting to move out of that warned area, and as we take a look at the velocity product here, I mean, there's a little bit of a couplet right there, but to me, Tony, it looks like it's starting to broaden out, which is good news.
So yeah, we looped that, and you're right. It is still there. We have cameras near Scottsmore and Mibbs. I want to see if we can effort a few of those. I've been chatting with some folks in the back while you were kind of going through a few things. Boy, I'll tell you what, Alex, this almost looks like it's creating two spins now, right along US 1. We don't have a camera there, but if we could take our high point camera and bend that back towards the north and the west, we may be able to see something pretty fascinating, taking that high point camera and facing it up to the north there towards Port St. John. So let's see if we can make that happen. I know Bilal's been talking in my ear in the back, one of my executive producers. So if we can take
the NASA cam.
Yeah, the NASA cam. Just kind of shoot that to the north, and hopefully we'll be able to get some pictures from this area. And look, you got one little area right there, another little area right there, and then to the south, let's go back towards the Rock Ledge area. Don't forget, we have currently 3 tornado warnings in effect, and this is the third one. There's the city of Rock Ledge, again, getting reports here of a couple of funnel clouds being reported by viewers and emergency managers. Now, the hail core does look like it's shrinking, right, Alex, on the impact tracker?
It does. Give me a moment. I'm going to switch over to that for us here. And again, the impact tracker was showing 2-inch size hail earlier, showing a big black blob right over near Rock Ledge. As you take a look at the impact tracker now with WSI, you can see still plenty of lightning. So let me turn that lightning off here. And you can see over near Rock Ledge, we're seeing that the hail beginning to shrink down, but still significant, still severe hail there, 1-inch size hail, moving right over towards Cocoa and Rockledge. Barron not showing, the impact tracker not showing rotation there, which is good. But if we take a look at the shear right here, I mean, that's some pretty decent shear in some of these spots. Let's see.
Alex, use the dual pole, the correlation coefficient.
The debris tracker here. Not seeing much in the way there, too. I've been watching that as well. Let's go a quick scan across all these plates. Yep.
There's a lot of hail in that northern one right there. Those bright yellows right there. And that northern tornado one, that's a lot of ice that the radar's pinging off of. So that's what you're seeing there. Oh my, that cell right there to me is that's the one that's the strongest and most impressive looking right now. And there's 2 of them. There's kind of you see that northern piece of red there, that's the greatest shear, and then the southern extent of that line of thunderstorms with a bit more shear. So there's actually 2 areas right there that seem to, we got a camera. We have 524 and I-95 Dallas Boulevard area. That's a little bit to the south. Be right about in this area here as Alex is driving around. Helcor's still hanging out with us right now.
Yep.
But look at the traffic, Alex, right now along I-95 because of these storms that are moving across. I know you're looking down and trying to help me out, but I want to give you some visuals as well. That right there, very, very impressive looking there. Just to the west of Rockledge. Let's get in a little bit closer on that. Let's stop that loop and zoom down even more. There's, and pull it, yeah, there we go. So again, we've got Wrangler Lane. That's where the worst of the energy is. Just go ahead and sweep it east of I-95 for me here real quick. I want to drive this, there we go. So you've got Sangria Circle. You've got Highway Street. You've got Rosa L. Jones Drive. That right there is going to be the core of that storm that's going to be headed your way east of I-95 over the next 10 to 15 minutes. So you don't have a whole lot of time to prepare. Remember, the safest place to be with a thunderstorm that is potentially rotating and has produced funnel clouds is not upstairs. You want to be downstairs, down low, and in the hallway or in the bathroom where there's less glass, less windows. It's usually the bathroom is the room in the house with the least amount of glass, and that's why we tell you to go in there. So that's a look at I-95 right now. What does the shear tracker look right here in this area?
Hold on, let me get back to that. I'm trying to get our radar on a better PRF there, therefore it's Tony.
Yep.
I know the viewers at home might not know what that means. But try to get some better velocity from our radar.
We've got the NASA cam, so while you're doing that, I'll talk over that there. But there's a look at the NASA cam right now. And a lot of rain coming down, but you know, sometimes you get these rain-wrapped thunderstorms and rain-wrapped tornadoes that can produce a very dangerous and a situation we don't want folks to be caught in. You know, we don't want you out and about trying to take videos and pictures when you have all of this moisture and all this rain coming your way, and you can't really see what's in it. And that's always the concern with storms like this that we're seeing across Brevard County this afternoon. So again, the recap. We'll widen out this view here real quick. We'll take a look at all the warnings now across east central Florida. We've got the one tornado warning cell here just to the west of Rockledge. And we'll zoom in here real quickly down towards the Rockledge area.
This is our velocity.
Yeah, I could see that there. Let's go ahead and loop that there for me. I want to see.
It's not going to loop for us, but I can go to the other one and loop that for us here.
So there's the Melbourne. And again, that's going due west. So that's coming right at Rockledge, right at Merritt Island. And you guys need to get down. You need to get low right now. How about the hail core with that? It's just while we're using Melbourne.
Not seeing much in the way of hail.
No hail there. Okay. All right. But let's go back up to the northern one right here. And we'll go back to the, oh boy. Can you ping that for me? Can you give me some winds? 38. So gate-to-gate wind shear right there, folks. 85 miles an hour with that particular cell. That's the strongest winds we've seen all day with any thunderstorm, and it's in this tornado warned cell that's just east of Indian River City, and again moving to the north and east at about 20 miles an hour. Up towards Geneva. Let's head towards eastern Seminole County. Our third tornado. Did they just lift that one?
Looks like they did.
Yeah,
yes.
They just lift that one, but there's still some broad rotation. So what that means is we're going to watch it. It may have come down a notch or two in severity, but we're going to watch this one as well. It does look like it's getting ripped apart here. Some drier air may be working on in. I-95 Rockledge. Let's head back down there. As you can see, Alex, we've got some pictures from the folks in the back helping us out there. But that's the storm right there. That's the most intense. But if we go south of there, down towards the Rockledge area, our camera is probably right about in here. And that's what we're shooting. And this is the red and that green couplet right there. So there's Rockledge, there's Edgewood High School, there's Merritt Island, South Tropical Trail. Again, you guys are in harm's way right now as this is going to move right over US 1 over towards 3 and be awfully close there towards Edgewood High School within the next 5 to 10 minutes. Again, you need to be down low. in a safe, sturdy portion of your home right there. As we take a look now at the reflectivity product, I want to see if we have it. Yeah, we got a little bit of appendage right there. Let's switch it over. Is that Melbourne right there?
That's Melbourne right there. Also, another funnel cloud was reported from the cell west of Rockledge, according to the National
Yeah, that was right on, just to the south of Orange Road. I believe I saw that there earlier. I actually think our radar looks better right now. I mean, so that kind of tells what's going on. That's when you see a little. This is not a true hook per se, but is an appendage from the southwest side of a thunderstorm. That's never what you want to see in a tornado-warned thunderstorm right there. That tells you that there is air inflowing, coming into the system, aiding and developing and trying to maintain the strength and the severity of this storm. Rockledge, Edgewater High School. Cannot say this enough. You guys need to get downstairs in a safe place right now, as this thunderstorm is bearing down on top of you. Back to the velocity product there one more time. We'll kind of go back and forth. Alex, that's looking more and more impressive.
It really is. I mean, when we go ahead and we see those colors there, the red colors and the green colors, that's showing the velocity of the rain moving towards and away from the radar. So the red's moving away from the radar, the green's moving towards it. That's how we know the wind speeds within these storms. So if we get winds going away from the radar and towards it really quickly, really close together, that's how we can find that rotation. The colors show, the brightness of the colors show the wind speed. So when we go back over towards WSI here, you can see as we ping some of these colors, we have the red showing, again, 25-mile-per-hour winds away from our radar, 22 miles away or towards it there in the green right near Rockledge. So you have about 44-mile-per-hour speed spinning around. That's a pretty good indication where we could be seeing a tornado there. And, of course, we are getting reports of funnel clouds over near Rockledge. So that's why you need to take this seriously and get into your safe place, especially if you're near Edgewood High School, moving over towards Merritt Island, South Tropical Trail, that road there, US 1. It's about to head right on top of US 1.
The rotation tracker on Barron's Lynx 1 right now looks really, really impressive. We'll go ahead and switch that source. I'm going to have you zoom it in just a little bit, kind of get in a little bit closer here. And then let's go ahead and loop this and see if we're losing red and coming down to the green here. There's your red a short time ago. It looks like it pulsed up here on approach to Rockledge and may hopefully now be weakening as it's bearing down on top of the city of Rockledge right now. You can clearly see this cell it peaked right there, and then there's a little bit. Can you stop that last image?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So there's that last.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's coming back up.
And they just continue that warning till 7 o'clock. They kind of collapse that western edge of the warning back towards Rockledge.
That makes a lot of sense right there. So there's again State Highway 520. This is going right over the river right now, and there's going to be some incredible pictures of some clouds tonight and some very heavy rain, I'm sure, coming from our viewers like they did with the hail the other day. Can we kind of go out a little bit? We'll keep an eye on that, but I want to go back up. This is the most important cell to watch. There's no doubt about it, but we've got another pretty intense tornado-warned cell here. Remember, we've got a lot of high-tech equipment and technology now in this vicinity here over towards the Kennedy Space Center. So we're going to watch this very, very careful. Wow, US 1 in the beach line. There it is. You see the steam? That may be some hail that fell, Alex.
Yep.
And now you're getting the steam from the melting because it's so warm and humid. And then, of course, you've got the very heavy rain there as well. Kind of hard to tell on that shot, but that's one of the things that we would definitely want to take a closer look at with our eyes. But again, it looks like there could be a little bit of hail there down towards the lower right screen. Looks like it's a little bit of white. But again, the Doppler winds now showing that the core of the rotating winds right on top of the city of Rockledge, again, headed towards Merritt Island, South Tropical Trail. There's Edgewater High School. This is, if we can loop that real quick there, Alex, and keep that view, you can see, get back in the street level there real quick. Let me get down, yeah, right there. I want to kind of, so you can see how quickly this is moving off towards the east-northeast. Now, that is the Melbourne Weather Service velocity product, not our own.
Last hour, yep.
But yeah, last hour, so because we got a longer loop there, we took a little power hit here with our local live radar today, so we're kind of bouncing back and forth and giving you the best pictures that we can with what we have. So right over Rockledge, back and forth, you can see there's your spin. Of course, there's Cape Canaveral, there's Cocoa Beach. If you're familiar with Cocoa Beach, of course, you've got all the ships that go out there. We have a HD camera there. I would urge our folks in the back to effort that high point camera here anytime you'd like. But you can see that cell moving off towards the east-northeast. Edgewater High School, 3 minutes away from the core of the strongest winds being right on top of you. Cape Canaveral, if it does indeed go to the north and the east, within about 15 to 20 minutes, that is going to be right on top of you. There's that camera that we were just calling for. Again, a lot of wind, a lot of rain. There's your report of a funnel cloud just to the south of Lake Washington area right there. Train spotter observing a funnel cloud west of the Rockledge and northwest of I-95 and Vieira Boulevard, the interchange there just a short time ago at about 6:35. And then here, we've also had a hail core. Did that just shift on us?
The hail, I think it did.
No, the tornado warning. It looked like that they moved it to the east.
Let me take a look.
Yeah, I think they just moved that. There's Sharps, there's Rockledge, there's your hail core, there's Cape Canaveral and Cocoa Beach. So 4 cities with very high population centers here underneath the tornado warned area. But it's not Sharps that we're worried about. It's Cape Canaveral. It's Rockledge, and it's Cocoa. That is where the most intense winds are going to be, right in this corridor here that we've been showing you. And we take a look at that reflectivity product now and the velocity product as well. They said they're going to reissue the tornado warning. They're going to have to. It's
cycling, yeah.
Yeah, so real quick, let's see if can you go back to the dual pole product here real quick? On links, I want to just kind of see here. This is, folks, we have multiple pieces of equipment that we like to use and rotate through, and this is the most intense cell right now, just east of Rockledge, right on the brand new image. Yep. That is not, that if anything, that's intensifying, folks. So if you're over there to the east, just to the east right there of Cocoa Beach, we're going to watch that. It may go just
till
to the
7:30 now.
Till 7:30. Yeah, I thought I saw a shift there. Yep. It makes sense. It's going to kind of build back towards the east. Alex, my eyes are not as good as yours, but if you don't mind reading some of those streets and maybe getting a little bit closer.
So that tornado warning, the core of it right now is just south of State Highway 520, north of, it looks like Footman. It's heading towards South Courtney Parkway, heading right over towards Angel City, South Banana River Drive, and it looks like it's going to be staying right south of 520. It seems like it's heading almost due east there.
Yep.
And then it's going to be heading right over towards Cocoa Beach, just south of Cape Canaveral, and then out to sea. And again, the new warning goes until, where did that go?
7:45.
7:45.
Yeah. Hey, we got
7:30.
We got a brand new, we want to show a different cam. This is, Bilal, go ahead. Was that US 1? And Astronaut Boulevard. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. The live look in there. Again, this is one of those situations where we're going to stay on until we feel that everything is cleared. Again, the potential for life-threatening winds and damage in this portion of Merritt Island now, as it's built just to the east of the Rockledge area and moving at about 15 to 20 miles an hour. So again, right over the Edgewood High School area and bearing down on Merritt Island. You can see the sign right there, tornado warning. Tornado warning there at exit 54A in effect for that area. The signs that they put up, your cell phones, make sure you have your notifications on, and don't forget you have that free WESH 2 weather app to use in days and afternoons like this. All right, let's go back to the rotation tracker here. One more time, and actually, that's even better. Yeah, I like that. That's really good right there. And it really connects the dots. There's your shear. It lined up right there, and then if we zoom it in, Alex, and not just to come out just a teeny bit, because I want to describe what's going on right there. So that's your appendage that we were talking about. So the air is rushing into the storm and helping those updrafts and that twisting and that spinning ongoing. So Merritt Island is about to get hit with whatever's underneath that little appendage right there. And it looks like it's going to take the 520 route off towards the east-northeast. So Edgewood High School, I would say it's on top of them right now.
Yeah.
Cape Canaveral, we're going to watch that there for you. It's you need to get ready. You need to be in the lowest floor of your home. You got a 2-story home, we want you downstairs. If you got a bathroom downstairs, that is exactly where we need you to be. Rotation tracker again showing a very sizable amount of strong shear in association with this rotating thunderstorm. The other thing we can take a look at one more time here is the Barron button, as this is going closer and closer towards Angel City there. The hail core, not that impressive, but you got to be careful with that when you get a storm that's stretched out east to west. It sometimes doesn't tell the whole story. Now, that right there is impressive. Let's loop that debris tracker, and we'll see what we have. So there it is. That lines up nicely with that notch as it's approaching Angel City. So if there's going to be a tornado, folks, it's going to be right in here. So right across. This is going to go right across the north side of Cocoa Beach. You can see the quad box there showing the debris tracker. There's your velocity where the couplet is. Down to the south, we'd like to take a look at the hail cores, and you can see that going right at Angel City, right just to the north side of Cocoa Beach. And then last but not least, as we give you 4 pictures at one time, you can see the rotation is medium to medium high on approach there towards Angel City, and that's one of the things that we're going to have to watch here until this does indeed pull off shore. Any more information coming via chat there, Alex?
Not much in the way of the chat. We do have apparently video of a funnel cloud over near Chuliota. That's a tornado warning that has been expired, so we're going to have that a little bit later. But for now, I mean, you can see with this quad box, I do like this product. I know it's a lot on the screen, but it all lines everything up. To the left, you have the debris tracker, so those blue colors showing where there could be a little bit of debris. To the right of that box, top right corner of your screen there, that's showing the actual wind speeds within the storm, showing that rotation. To the bottom left, the impact tracker showing that pretty elongated hail core, and then to the bottom right, that's the rotation tracker. So when you have all these different pieces of data and information coming together all on the same spot, that's a pretty decent indication that there is some ground truth to this, and we could be watching for a potentially damaging tornado, especially some strong winds, if not a tornado, moving through Footman towards Angel City. You can see that impact tracker just updated there.
Up. Yeah.
Let's see if I can.
There is a little bit of lag with the impact tracker. That's the one thing that I would say. The other ones update fairly quickly, but the hail product that we use in the impact. Oh, this is out of Avito from earlier.
Yep.
Just a short time ago. You can see there's the funnel cloud right there, and that's why that cell was tornado warned on. It was short-lived over there, but needless to say, a lot of folks sending in some images, some ground truth, some videos, and just emails letting us know what's going on there. We do appreciate that. Emily Mink, appreciate you sending that to us this afternoon. It helps to tell the story, and it helps to tell, gives us the ground truth. So there's your rotation tracker again. South Banana River Drive. This is coming right at you there. It's going to be right over, it's coming over the Banana River right now, in fact. There's Cocoa Beach, and again, if you're familiar with this area, the ships are important. Sometimes they go out right in this area, so we'll have to wait and see if there's any issues with that. Let's go back to the north for a second here, Alex, with that cell that was over the Kennedy Space Center, and that is a very impressive looking, wow, that is one of the best looking images I've seen in a while.
I'll go back to that for you.
Yeah, right there. There's Merritt Island, there's Rock Ledge. There is, again, we're hoping that this is going to become part of the main core. As it's detached like that, there's a good chance that a funnel cloud and or a tornado could come down to the ground. So that's why we're watching this one especially carefully. And on top of that, obviously there's a lot of folks that live in this area compared to the tornado-warned thunderstorm up to the north. But there's again, the 524 back towards Ocean Beach Boulevard. It's coming right at Ocean Beach Boulevard there along the 520. There's Merritt Island. Again, this is all going to be going right over the river. And then back towards very close to the north side of Cocoa Beach as we get you into the next 15 to 20 minutes, and then gradually moving offshore. But that is a very, very impressive signature right there. It looks like it may have pulsed down just briefly there for a second, Alex.
It's a WSI product, so I don't think it wasn't showing as intense as the...
Is there a hail core still with that one? There is. Yeah, right there. What are we pinging there?
Let's see. That's looking about just under 1 inch size hail.
1 inch, yeah. So
right along the 520.
Yep, right along the 520. Again, pictures there in that corridor also showing very heavy rain. We're not seeing as much hail as we saw the last 2 days. Alex and I were describing that the temperatures aloft today, they're cold, but they're not as cold as they were the last 48 hours. So the number of hail reports are considerably lower and considerably smaller. As we loop this product here one more time, that's the Melbourne radar, Alex?
Yeah, I don't know what happened to our to our Doppler winds, to our radar here.
So, so are we that's the product I want right
Yeah.
there. That's the one. Is that, which product are you using?
That's just a regular velocity from
all
Melbourne
right.
there.
I wasn't sure if you were using the other product. So there's Edgewater High School, there's Merritt Island. Again, this is kind of holding together. Let's go back to the reflectivity product to see if that notch is kind of coming in, or nope, it's still detached.
There's the latest one. There you go.
Let's loop that for just a quick second here.
I'll just back up a little bit.
Keep coming, keep coming. So there it is. There's that notch. Now we want this to come as one piece, because once that happens, you lose the inflow, which really shuts down on the rotation. So we could be going in the right trend and track. But look at Cape Canaveral, down towards Cocoa Beach. A lot of lightning in that dry sector on the southern side of this particular rotating thunderstorm. And again, we'll have to watch this until it clears the coast in Cocoa Beach. That's going to be dangerously close to the north side of Cocoa Beach and dangerously close to the south side of Cape Canaveral. Again, a lot of people live in the Merritt Island area. And again, a lot of folks are probably seeing this from Cocoa Beach, wondering, is this coming my way, or is it going to stay just to the north? Based on that trajectory that you just showed me with looping it, it's going to be on the north side of Cocoa Beach, just to the north, right along the 520. And folks that are down here will be amazed at what they're about to see as this one comes across northern Brevard County. Alex, still very impressive amount of shear with this.
It is. If below on the back, if you can tell Jeter that we're not getting the WESH product into our WSI system for me, that'd be great. But yeah, there's the rotation tracker right there from Barron, and it almost looks like now there's two separate spots of rotation there. So if we go ahead and I'll go back over to this other product here, I want to get back to the velocity. We'll see why that's showing that. I mean, that looks impressive just north of Merritt Island.
So it looks like you got 1 and 1, right? Maybe right in there and right in there. So that's what it's picking up on. And then sometimes you can get additional stuff as it's moving and being elongated, so to speak, east to west, like it's maybe trying to do along the 520. But this is the zone we have to watch. There's no doubt about that. Right. Just north of South Banana River Boulevard, in and around North Atlantic Avenue, right there. This is the danger zone. Let's go and get some winds there in the brightest shades of green and red, so we can get some gate-to-gate wind shear. I think if you ping right there, Alex, where my finger is, I know you're looking down. There you go. So gate-to-gate wind shear, pretty close to 60 miles an hour right there, and that will continue to build off towards the east. And think about this. You've got storm motion at 20. You've got the winds being depicted at close to 60. And is that the new one?
Yeah, it's a new one.
Yeah. That's looking more and more. If you loop that,
that goes till 7:30.
7:30. There we go. So that is very, very impressive looking right there, and that is very close to the pads. Some of the pads up there at the Kennedy Space Center complex. So we'll have to check in.
I don't know if our NASA camera is showing any of that, or if there's a.
They had it earlier, but there was so much rain.
I can't see.
Yeah, it was difficult to see any. But they'll keep their eyes on it for us. I'm sure of that.
That one.
And then the reflectivity product over here with that cell looks like what?
Let's take a look at the winds real quick. Yeah, 4320 there.
63 gate-to-gate wind shear. Yeah. And we'll pull it back out. Yeah. So, and what does it look like on Melbourne's? Just out of curiosity.
That is Melbourne right there. Yep.
Looks like ours. So there's Titusville. There you go. Yeah, that's Melbourne. That's much better. So there it is right there. There's Titusville. You can see the showers and the storms, again, moving off towards the east. And again, we'll have to watch that until it moves offshore. I want to do one quick thing here, Alex. We're spending a lot of time in Brevard County, but I want to let other we got a funnel cloud and rock ledge. Let's show that video. Yep, there it is. That was just a short time ago. You can see the river. You can see that funnel cloud coming due east. This is from Twitter from Tim Barton. Tim, appreciate you shooting this at a very safe distance. We always ask viewers that if they feel like they have to shoot video or take pictures for us, that they do it at a safe distance and or when the active weather has passed their area. So he's clearly at a safe distance right there when he was shooting that. And you can see that appendage now trying to come back into the core of the thunderstorm itself instead of being low-hanging fruit, as I like to call it. Still a little bit of an inflow notch right there, east of Merritt Island, right along 520. But again, this is going to be moving quickly offshore here within about the next 15 to 20 minutes. Let's drag this.
I heard we have live pictures below was saying. I don't know where that is.
That looks like I-95 mile marker. What is that? 56.8. Yeah. Yeah, 528 and A1A right there. Yep, there it is, 520. Yep, so you can see the heavy rain. Not a lot of folks on the roads tonight. That is obviously and clearly some good news there. Local storm report again, 1 mile northwest of Klondike Beach. Again, getting reports of winds in that 40 to 50 mile an hour range right now. So again, the winds haven't been incredibly high. But again, the rain and all of that other stuff that we have been watching, again, are very, very impressive. There is your notch that is trying to come back into the core of that thunderstorm itself. There's still clearly going to be that rotational signature there, but when this collapses in, with the main thunderstorm itself, that's when a lot of times the thunderstorm in and of itself tries to begin to weaken. So we'll continue to babysit that there for you. But this is, again, getting very close to Cape Canaveral, just to the north of Cocoa Beach right there.
That's a thermal Doppler,
Yeah,
by the way.
yeah, I was going to say, that's what I thought it was. That's what it looked like right there. Pretty impressive. Wow, 91 mile an hour gate-to-gate wind shear on the terminal Doppler. Now, here's the thing with the terminal Doppler. It's over at the airport. So it's a long ways away. So the winds may be over scanning this. If you shoot it with, this is the Melbourne radar.
Yep.
It's, if you get like right in there and then right, yeah. So 34 and 37, 45, let's just call it 70 to 80 mile an hour winds with the radar, which is pretty close. If I had to pick the radar to use, I would clearly use this one, as it's the radar that's closest to the storm that we're watching and monitoring. And then, Alex, you were talking about that little secondary piece. So you've got here, and you got another piece ping-ponging off that northern side. So there's multiple pieces of energy within this particular thunderstorm.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's the latest scan just came back in. I mean, that's looking impressive from the tower camera there.
Wow.
That's looking like a nasty storm.
Yeah,
That's Cocoa Beach.
Yep,
yeah.
Cocoa Beach. And then I'm seeing you with the rotation tracker on links, and we're starting to see yellow.
And you know, that latest scan just came. If we can go back over to the weather computer here, the latest scan just came on in, and that is impressive right there.
Yeah, so that's WSI we're showing. Let's go ahead and show links.
I'll go ahead and do that for us right here.
There it is, right there. That is. You know, the last time I saw this, and I hate to say this, was the Groundhog Day tornado outbreak. And we saw a lot of high wind shear and rotation. So let's hope that, again, this is just a temporary.
Right over the water.
Yeah, exactly, friction. As it came off the land. But again, right along State Highway 520, just south of Cape Canaveral. It looks like the worst of it's going to be south of Cape Canaveral, the city proper, that is, not the south side of the city. And there's Cocoa Beach, and right along the 520. If you know anybody that lives in this area, you're watching me right now, get on the phone real quick and tell them they need to be downstairs, because there's some beach homes there. There's a couple condominiums there, and again, we're thinking about you guys over in that area. That is not something we want to be seeing on our rotation tracker. And the hail course pulsing back up. I had a feeling that's what exactly was going on. So that's 1.5 to 3 inch diameter hail right there. The black that you saw earlier. It's 2.5. So again, this is a tremendous hail core. When it starts going back up, like it's doing now, that tells us that the thunderstorm is getting more intense and pulsing on up, and that is clearly what is going on right now in and around State Highway 520 and over the river there before it begins to finally move offshore here, probably within about the next 15 to 20 minutes. So we go back to WSI here real quick, guys. Alex is kind of driving the product there just east of Merritt Island.
There's a new sweep.
Yeah, there it is. That's the brand new sweep right there, and you can see tight rotation right in there. Gate-to-gate wind shear, 70 to 80, maybe even 90 miles an hour now. That doesn't mean it's reaching the ground, but it means the potential for it to reach the ground is certainly going to be there. So we'll continue to monitor that. Let's go back up to the north here real quickly. We'll come right back to this cell. This is the one that's clearly the bigger concern, but this cell as well, up here in the northern Brevard County, back towards the Kennedy Space Center. This one has been holding on. This one's been a fighter. This is the one that has really been intriguing to me. Gate-to-gate wind shear there, 80 to 90 miles an hour. That is another very impressive thunderstorm. You can see the pictures coming in and out of Brevard County this afternoon with multiple tornado warnings now this afternoon as the sea breezes have interacted with some outflow boundaries and storms that have come in from the west. And the net effect is we're getting what we hoped we would not get, and that is thunderstorms that are rotating. And it took, Alex, as you know, most of the day for this to go, but the west breeze was clearly the stronger breeze today, and once it caught up with the east breeze here in Brevard County that was untapped for most of the day, we're getting this situation play out right now. So there's Cape Canaveral. You can clearly see what's going on. You almost have 2 notches now, which is that's pretty scary when you think about it. You've got you might have what we call multiple vortices wrapping around the southern extent of the southwest base of this thunderstorm. That is, again, very, very close to Cape Canaveral and very, very close towards Cocoa Beach and right along the 520. So as we loop this and put this into motion, this particular product, I just want to show folks how this has come together. Alex, this is, I believe, a 1 hour loop?
It is. 15 minutes. 15 minutes.
Yeah, so we've kind of condensed it here for you just to kind of show. And look how it's stretching out.
Yep.
I don't like seeing that. Because that means it's getting closer to the southern side there of the city of Cape Canaveral. So that's one of the things that we're going to have to watch here very carefully for folks up there. So we need you guys to be careful in not only Cape Canaveral, but also the Cocoa Beach area and right along the 520. And as we go back to the reflectivity product here, I want to see what that notch is doing yet again. So we've got the back notch, and then for whatever reason, we've got this little secondary notch, which is trying to kind of drift up towards the north, towards Cape Canaveral. And I think that's why, Alex, we're starting to see that red, the moderate shear, begin to kind of lift more towards the north, along North Atlantic Avenue, and closer to the beach line into the Cape Canaveral area. You can see some live pictures again from this particular area. Let's take that picture, that camera shot there real quick, and then we'll come back to that radar if you guys don't mind in the back. That's the 528 eastbound there, where you can see the signs are clearly warning folks that there's a tornado warning in effect. And remember, that tornado warning is in effect until 7:30 and 7:45. We've got 2 there. In central and northern Brevard County. So we go back to the rotation tracker and or live radar. Either or is good at this point. But there's the rotation tracker.
Just a little north now.
Yep, exactly. You took the words right out of my mouth. I'm going to let you go ahead and play here. I want to jump on pigeon and kind of look over my shoulder. You guys can punch up Alex here for a second, and we'll bring him in, and he can kind of do some walking and talking.
Yeah. So we're of course watching the rotation tracker. If you're just joining us, we have 2 tornado warned cells. One of them goes both go until 7:30 in Brevard County. Let's get over to the maps here, and you can see the rotation tracker right along County Road 3, where you see this red is where we're seeing the tightest rotation. That's the best indication of where a tornado is on. It could be on the ground here, just around the northern side of Merritt Island. This is moving right across County Road 3, heading over towards Cape Road. This is mostly over towards the launch complex area. You can see these little circle areas. If I zoom in a little bit closer to the circles, those are the launch pads there over on the right side of your screen. But again, the red showing where we're seeing the strongest rotation. Just to the south of that, we have the second cell, which this is actually looking a little bit more promising here. If I go ahead and loop this, and you'll see when this yellow coloring pops up, that's a strong indication of very tight rotation, strong wind speeds there rotating around each other, starting to see that lessen up. That doesn't mean to drop your preparations here and drop your guard, but if you live along State Highway 520 in between Cape Canaveral and Cocoa Beach, you're going to be wanting to be in your safe place. It looks like this rotation beginning to slowly weaken, but it's still quite significant heading over towards the Bennett Causeway. It almost looks as if it's starting to turn its way up towards the north. So again,
they're worried about Playa Linda Beach right now. It's moving more towards the east at about 20 miles an hour. Strong rotation with this thunderstorm. Quarter-size hail, definitely radar-indicated rotation. You and I have been talking about that. The debris could be one of the most dangerous parts of this storm. Remember, when you get the rotation like that on the ground for quite a long time, one of the things you have to worry about is debris, and that's why sometimes we show you the debris tracker. And the other thing to keep in mind too, folks, is that in situations like this, you've got to worry about power lines, live wires, and stuff like that. We don't want you to be out and about. Let the crews come in and do their thing. There's the debris tracker, and if you loop that real quick there, you see that little blue area? That's a hint that there is some debris in that thunderstorm on the northern side. Alex, if you actually go to the south, we may see even more of that as we get closer towards the 520, but we are getting a little bit closer to the Melbourne radar, so that could contaminate that particular product.
A little bit of green near Cape Canaveral.
Yep, and a little bit of blue now just to the east of Cape Canaveral as well, so a good observation there. Let's go back to the velocity product here again and kind of pinpoint where this is headed, what it's doing, its momentum, so to speak. And you can see an amalgamation of a lot of red and green in multiple portions there. So there's a lot of spinning and rotating going on underneath this particular thunderstorm. And even out ahead of it, there's a lot of wind along and east of A1A as this whole mess here kind of lifts off towards the east. And this looks to me, Alex, like it is going to clip the southern side of the city of Cape Canaveral. And you can see what's going on right there. It is on top of Cape Canaveral. The northern side of it is right on top of Cape Canaveral. And the southern extent of that storm is also closing in on the south and the southwest side as well.
And I want to go back over to this debris tracker here and explain a little bit. Again, when you're seeing these green colors, what this is doing, it's called a dual pole product. So it's sending out radar energy. It's almost measuring the size of these particles in the atmosphere, the horizontal parts and the vertical. When you have a raindrop, the horizontal and vertical, they're pretty much aligned. They're about the same size. That's that red coloring you're seeing. So that's a lot of raindrops. When you start seeing the green, that means that the horizontal size of that is very different from the vertical size. So that could be sticks, twigs, any type of debris which is not round, it's not circular, getting lofted into the air. And when you see these darker colors, the more green and the darker blues, that means that difference in size is even greater. So again, this is showing that there's a pretty decent chance here that we could be seeing some debris. That's the latest scan there, down towards the south. Again, I think that's the port right there, north of where Cape Canaveral says.
Right. Yep, that's exactly right. Yep. So let's go back to that reflectivity product there real quick, Alex, if you don't mind. Kind of take a look at that. And let's loop that at that. I like that. That look right there.
Yep.
So there's that first notch. The back notch is clearly falling apart. That's your main notch right now, just to the south of Cape Canaveral. That's why we're seeing that wind shear getting stretched out, elongated from north to south. That is almost offshore. That's the good news. The bad news is that the strongest winds, the greatest rotation, the greatest spin right now is right over the outer banks there, so to speak, of Brevard County. And this is going to continue to move offshore here gradually. We're going to watch that, but we're also going to watch this little appendage on the backside, because sometimes you can get redevelopment on the southwest side of a thunderstorm, and we've seen that happen today on multiple occasions. So you've got the leading edge right there. It looks like that's trying to develop, and then you've got underneath that main ball of energy another little spin. So there are two really couplets within that thunderstorm. They got the back edge of it, and then you got the leading edge on the south side of that particular thunderstorm. So a lot going on in this area from just east now of Edgewood High School, Merritt Island, over towards North Atlantic Avenue, and now pulling offshore the first wedge. We're still going to have to wait for this second wedge to clear A1A.
And that's just not moving. That's the last hour. It's just
it does appear that it does want to sit there. And I was thinking the same thing earlier. Here's the other thing. If we could put the rain rate on there, this is the other big problem that we're dealing with today. We know we're seeing the rotation, but what you don't see is the wall of water that's around it. And when you have this going on in a thunderstorm and you have rainfall rates 2, 3, 4, 5 inches per hour, again, you don't know what's in there. And you think it's just heavy rain that's producing the strong gusty winds that's coming down from the base of that thunderstorm, when in fact, there is potentially a funnel cloud and or a tornado in there. So that's another danger with situations like this. Now, that reflectivity product is just absolutely amazing looking to me right now. Guys, do we have that Cocoa Beach cam back up, maybe facing out towards the Atlantic? Okay, it's down. We must have lost it with this storm. They're telling me there's a brand new warning.
Playa Beach is nearly stationary.
Okay, there we go. Oh, we got it. There it is right there. Perfect. Let's see here. Brand new, so tornado warning. They're keeping it.
Yeah, it must be that one. They were kind of reissuing it within the other warning.
Yep, there you go. As you were saying, nearly stationary over Playa Linda right now. So, again, we're just going to have to watch this. Let's back it out real quick. I just want to make sure. I'm not seeing any other warnings there, but I want to give folks the heads up. You can see the southern warning there. You can see the southern one there is almost offshore. Then we get back up towards northern Brevard, Kennedy Space Center. That's the one that's just been kind of sitting there for whatever reason over the last half hour or so. All right, back to the populated area down to the south. We'll get back towards Merritt Island, Rock Ledge, over towards Atlantic Boulevard right there. You can see there's Cape Canaveral. That is a very impressive looking comma shape there that's building right along A1A and off towards the south ever so slowly. And that's what we've been picking up with our rotation tracker. A very large hail core maybe offshore with that little embedded shear pocket right there. But this is the second cell. Remember, we had two appendages within one thunderstorm there, and I believe that once we get this portion offshore, we're going to be in much better shape. But right now, again, if anybody in this area, they're in it, and this is the worst part of it right now. Once we get this to lift east of you, you are going to be in a much, much, much better place. Now, you're probably going to have to do a lot of cleanup because there have been some pretty intense winds with this particular thunderstorm. But, Alex, interestingly enough, it appears to me that the hail with this is considerably smaller than what we were dealing with yesterday.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we were dealing with a very large hail yesterday. Today, it seems like the bigger risk is now the tornado threat and the winds. Large hail core offshore.
Wow.
I'll go ahead and query that. It's offshore, which is good because that's about 2-inch size hail radar indicated there. As we take a look at the reflectivity, again, it looks like the heaviest of the showers and storms now offshore there. Further up towards the north, that looks like a big mess. Let me go ahead and take a look at the velocity. This is why this one continues to be issued here because there's still just some lingering rotation. It's being quite stubborn, but you can see
it does look like it's weakening.
Right. The brightness of the colors show the wind speeds. So when it starts to dim, that's good. That's what we want to see.
What does the rotation tracker look like up to the north? We know what it looks like down to the south, but let's see if we can just kind of slide that up to the north there.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing any moderate shear, but if you loop that and we play this back for the last 15-20 minutes, you'll see that it was there. But thankfully, the trend, at least for now, is in a weakening trend, so some good news up that way. What we really have to watch, of course, is obviously, again, on the south side of Cape Canaveral, just north of Cocoa Beach. This is the area that has been absolutely hit pretty hard today. Again, it started over towards Rock Ledge. We showed you some of the videos of the funnel clouds, and again, it's kind of made its way gradually across. And Alex, remind me, did we say 7:30 or 7:45 with that tornado warning?
7:30 for those ones. Another tornado warning goes until 8 o'clock as well. So let's go ahead. We'll pause that.
Yep.
Click there. So that one goes until 7:30.
Right.
Further up to the north, the one in the middle here, this goes until 8 o'clock.
That's what I
thought. Kind of on top of
they reissued it because it's stationary. Exactly. Okay. So that kind of outside of that though, things are fairly quiet. And what I want to do though, real quickly, Alex, I have a shot of the Gulf of Mexico, and I just want to make this point to the viewers at home. We're going to come right back to this. I promise you that. But at the top of my show there, you're jumping in there right now. There has been a long line of storms that has been racing across the eastern Gulf of Mexico. And it's this line that we're going to have to watch. We're hoping that the models are correct and that this is going to weaken on approach to us. But this one is moving at almost 40 to 50 miles an hour and approaching the west coast of central Florida. So we're going to have to deal with that as well a little bit later on. So I just want to put that in your backburner of the brain. Let's go right back to those tornado-warned areas there in the Brevard County here and just kind of keep everybody apprised of the situation. That is fantastic news that lead cell is moving offshore. However, That back cell, that secondary cell, remains kind of almost, I don't want to say stationary, but it's moving quite a bit slower than we had hoped there, Alex.
Yeah, it's really not moving fast at all. Let me go ahead and see. So the latest tornado warning that they issued, it goes until 8 o'clock. It's for that tornado warning right there south of Cape Canaveral, sitting pretty much near Playland Beach there.
Right.
They're saying it's nearly stationary. There is a report via Twitter, according to the National Weather Service, of a funnel cloud near that area.
Yeah, I believe that, based upon what we've seen and what's been coming across. What I'm hoping that's going to happen, though, as we go back to the reflectivity product, and I've seen this play out multiple times. There's the core of the storm. We have a water spout for sure offshore.
Absolutely.
There is absolutely no doubt about that. That is a very intense looking, a brand new severe thunderstorm warning for cell down there. Let's go back to that reflectivity product here. And so we're shooting this with the Melbourne radar, which is kind of far away, but this cell is dropping off towards the south, right along the Florida Turnpike, and you can see the lightning strikes here, everything kind of looking like it wants to build. If you can we loop that one?
Yeah.
Let's kind of loop that and just kind of take a look. So actually it's moving to the northeast. It looked like, because the way the box was oriented, that it was moving off towards the south. And that's why we like to loop these things, so you can kind of see what's going on. And unfortunately, this is building back towards the city of Palm Bay. That's another thing that we're going to have to watch here going forward. Fellsmere Road, that is a 1.8-inch diameter hailstone upstairs with this particular thunderstorm, and this is racing towards southern Brevard County, potentially very close to the southern reaches there of the Palm Bay area. So that's one of the things that we're going to have to watch here as we go through the next half hour to 45 minutes, and we'll watch that there for you. So this severe thunderstorm warning is likely to go to about 8:15. Alex is changing up his batteries because we've been on the air so long now, but once he gets established, what I want him to do for me is to use the graphic that shows us the time of this severe thunderstorm warning. So we'll go ahead and get that set up there. Just because there's so many of them now, I just want to make sure that we give the right time for this particular severe thunderstorm warning. Remember now, the cells here, they're lifting up to the north and the east. Alex, appreciate you doing that there for me. 8 o'clock this evening, we looped that. Watch the hail cores. They're coming right over the turnpike and lifted up to the north and the east. And underneath this warning, of course, is the city of Palm Bay, which is now quite large and extends a good ways to the south and the west. So we're going to have to watch this particular thunderstorm as it lifts to the northeast. All right, let's go back to the tornado-warned thunderstorms here. As you can see, that notch there now moving offshore there. Another little notch maybe trying to develop just to the north and east of Port St. John. And this particular cell, less orange, less red, more yellow. That's an indication that this may finally be in a weakening phase in that northern stretch there up towards the Kennedy Space Center. And in fact, if we go ahead and loop the velocity product, I think you'll clearly be able to see that. That is that is some really good news right there, Alex, right there. So again, down to the south.
That's gone now.
Yep, they just lifted as the cores moved offshore. So the one tornado warning up towards the Kennedy Space Center. We'll continue to watch that. And boy, I'll tell you what, it has taken its sweet time, just kind of hanging out right there. And that's not what we want to see, especially with if we've got all that technical equipment out there. Summer's got some information for us now. We want to check in over at the news desk with her.
Yeah, Tony, we are obviously listening to what you say. We know that at any moment, tornadoes can pop up. So we have a full screen that we want to show you just to kind of give you a reminder of what to do, because we know just like these warnings pop up at any moment, so can the actual tornado. So here's what you need to do. Go to the lowest level of your home and into the room that is farthest away from any outside walls, okay? You also, of course, want to avoid any windows. Do not open doors to look outside. This is not the time. You could do that after the threat is gone, okay? Get under something sturdy like a table. Cover yourself with a blanket to protect yourself from flying glass, because we know that flying debris is what causes most fatalities and injuries when tornadoes touch down. Make sure you are protecting your head. Again, this can happen at a moment's notice. You want to also have your weather radio on, and if you have a TV nearby, make sure you got WESH 2 on and turn that volume up. My family and I, we've been in a situation before. We're in the closet, we're listening to Tony Manalfi, and it can really be a lifesaver. So I just wanted to remind you all of that. Tony, we're going to get things back over to you, and we'll continue to sit right here and monitor.
Yeah, Summer, some really great tips. Appreciate you sharing that with our viewers. And also, Summer, if you see any reports on the APY or anything like that of some images or any injury or damage reports, please let us know. Just raise your hand, and we'll go right over to the desk there with you. All right, rotation tracker again. This tornado-warned area is in effect now until 8 o'clock this evening. We take a look now at the reflectivity product. That shear product there is finally, Alex, beginning to wind down. So I think we're in much better shape there. And you can see it's just a wall of very heavy rain now ongoing over towards Merritt Island. We did have a flood advisory for portions of Brevard County there earlier. We don't have any right now, but I tell you what, with this not moving very quickly, that is something that we're going to have to watch. Again, much better looking there. Again, this is supposed to be in effect until 8 o'clock, and I wouldn't be surprised if they drop that sooner rather than later, based on the trends right there. And that's not to say you can't try to make a comeback again, but we'll continue to watch that. But again, just north of the NASA Parkway East, that is the corridor of concern here. What are the rainfall rates in this area? Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, go back to that. Oh, that's impressive. Yeah.
Oh. So White is probably what?
2.5 inches per hour.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. Let's just cycle down towards Merritt Island A1A on this product. I just think that one of the points we have to drive home.
Rockland's still seeing.
Wow, that's is that redevelopment there? Let's go back to the reflectivity product. That's pretty.
There you go.
Yep, there it is. So again, more very heavy rain in an area where folks may be out trying to clean up, and there's lightning strikes. So that's just another thing that folks need to consider, is we need this rough weather to pass on through before you start making any cleanup preps right now. You know, the more people are killed in the aftermath of storms and hurricanes, so we just want you to be careful. We just want you to be smart. We want you to use common sense, and if you do that, you're going to be in good shape. Look at the tremendous amount of lightning now with that thunderstorm that has moved offshore. Far less lighting, but still a good deal up to the north. And then do we still have that severe thunderstorm warning down in Osceola County as we go back towards this? Yeah, we do. Okay. Yeah. And any hail core with that, Alex?
Let me go ahead and go back to that. Bear with me here when I change this back over here.
Yep. So again, this is lifting up to the northeast. There's Cape Canaveral. There's your hail core right there. It looked a little bit more impressive and more circular a short time ago. Now it's kind of, it looks like multiple pieces stretching out from that line of thunderstorms there along 441 that's moving into southwestern Brevard County. So we'll continue to watch that. Remember now, the city of Palm Bay, not that far to the north and east of this particular core of hail. And when you take a look at the velocity product here, it didn't look too impressive earlier. We'll have to wait and see. Yeah, some gusty winds along the turnpike in 441. But this whole piece of energy is trying to lift up to the north and the east. So we'll watch that there up and down I-95 as it closes in on Palm Bay. So
that was impressive earlier. Right?
Yeah, it was very impressive earlier. So we'll continue to watch that. All right, back to northern Brevard County in that tornado-warned cell. Again, not looking as robust, not looking as organized as it did 15 to 20 minutes ago. That is certainly some good news. But the fact that this is still hanging out over here and still showing a little bit of rotation means that we have to be diligent and watch this again very, very carefully until for sure that we don't see any of that spin ongoing upstairs. And again, it's kind of one of those situations, Alex, that you don't see too often here in Central Florida, where a cell sits, kind of weakens, it recycles through, it gets stronger, it recycles through again, and you get multiple tornado warnings, and that's what's been going on this afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, we're still seeing some broad rotation out there, but I mean, down to the south there, Tony. I mean, that's where we saw some really intense rotation as we back this up, as it worked its way just south of the 520 between about Cape Canaveral to Cocoa Beach. We were seeing some really impressive rotations earlier. Now that's beginning to broaden out, moving offshore. That's good. We don't want to see that over land. Further up to the north, as we take a look at that rotation tracker, again, you can see that bullseye of red there right in the middle of those warning boxes. That's where we had the biggest rotation over Merritt Island, but now starting to broaden out, starting to see some darker greens, not showing any of those red colors where we would see some intense radar indicated rotation. As I take a look at the velocity product now, again, bear with me as I move this around, it's looking more and more like it's broadening out and weakened. So we're not seeing the green and the red colors next to each other. We're not seeing the rain within the storm moving towards and away from the radar at a quick rate. We're seeing more just steady winds. So again, all this is pointing to me towards a weakening trend, Tony.
Yep, I 100% agree with you on that. And the other thing that leads us to that proclamation, so to speak, is when you take a look at the reflectivity product and you look at the overall structure of this storm, you're going to see just a wall of water. And
Right.
it's when you see this, many times you're not dealing with tornadoes. You're dealing, with some downburst, and you're dealing with a microburst. And we've got some more video coming in right now. I want to go to some more live, not live pictures, but the video from our WESH 2 viewers here. Again, I believe it's Bilal, where'd you say it was? Cape Canaveral area. Some folks there shooting us some of the video. This individual driving in the car. And look at that wind. It looks like a tropical storm, if not even a hurricane, Alex.
Right. I mean, that's some steady rain moving through.
Yeah, and we showed you the rainfall rates. They were on the order of 2 to 3 inches per hour, and it's just driving right at his car as he's shooting from within his car over towards the Kennedy Space Center. This is, again, from at Busk SC. At Busk SC, we do appreciate your video, and I'm glad that you're okay, but some impressive stuff coming in from our WESH 2 viewers this afternoon and this evening now. So there's Merritt Island. Again, big wall of very heavy rain. Alex, we've taken a look at hourly rainfall rates, but let's take a look at how much has fallen here over the last 12 hours here in Brevard County. And I wouldn't be surprised if we're looking at 2 to 3 inches of rain in a couple of areas.
That's a 24-hour rainfall total for you.
Yep. Pixel query that, see what you got. 2.5. So yeah, 3 inches of rain, 3.5 inches of rain, right along the 528, the beach line, which many times is a very heavily traveled area. So again, that's not a good combination. Heavy rain and folks on the highway there. What about down towards the Rock Ledge area? If you go down a little bit more towards the south, yeah, see there was a sharp cutoff. That's what I thought. And then farther to the north in northern Brevard County, how does that look?
Northern Brevard County.
Yeah,
I'm trying to read the chat here at the same time.
Yep, sorry. You're multitasking. You're doing a great job. So yeah, the yellow right there is a very impressive swath. Remember, that was the storm that Alex and I were looking at that was just sitting there as it was. Wow, 6.3 inches of rain. That's in April. It's one of the driest months of the year for us here in Central Florida, folks, just to kind of put this afternoon's rain into perspective, and it's still coming down. Look, go ahead and loop that. I just want to see something over towards the NASA Parkway East. It's still a little spin, but you don't have the couplet there, but it certainly looks like...
741, they continued the tornado warning there.
Yep, so they're seeing the broad spin up top. And we're not seeing the green and the red together like we did earlier, but just the fact that they're seeing that tells me that they're concerned as we are as well, Alex. And, what about the rotation tracker there again?
Yeah, give me 1 second.
And the shear, just out of curiosity. Yeah, see, that's definitely going in the right direction. Love seeing that. Remember earlier we had a little bit of red and certainly some brighter shades of green. There's the red right there.
There's a 30-minute loop for it.
Yep, right there. So, and then down to the south, if we look offshore, that rotation, that was just incredible. What came through this portion there. Right in the Cape Canaveral area, just north of the Cocoa Beach. Looks like the tail end of that shear may have nicked, the Cocoa Beach area there as it was exiting stage southeast. So when we take a look at the reflectivity product, excuse me, for this area, you're going to see that very impressive looking thunderstorm. And it's still, look at that, it still has that notch. This is likely a water spout. Or at the very least a funnel cloud that is offshore there of Cape Canaveral and of Cocoa Beach. A very, very interesting and intense thunderstorm that developed there rapidly across the interior of Brevard County, came right along the 520 and then moved offshore.
And Tony, I got some more information from the National Weather Service about this cell. As we're showing, they're saying the rotation is pretty much non-existent right now, but they are worried that there's some potential of recycling, so that's why they're going to continue the warning out there. So nothing rotating there now, but they're keeping a close eye that it might start to spin right back up.
So let's take a look at that velocity product, because I know exactly what they're talking about. That is impressive looking cloud there over towards Cocoa Beach and Cocoa right now. So when we loop this, okay, when they talk about recycling, this storm has recycled quite a few times. It did it there. It's still, you can still see the twisting, okay? So if there's any instability left, it's going to want to try to do that. It's going to want to try to recycle back in and try to build and maybe potentially come back down. That camera shot, by the way, that you guys just had up there was phenomenal. If we can pull that back up one more time and take it full, you're going to see a very impressive cloud canopy right there. In the middle of the lens there's a raindrop, but in the center of that thunderstorm offshore, that might be the water spout that we're seeing there. I can't tell if that raindrop is playing tricks on my eyes or if there's actually something out there over the open waters that is maybe coming down, or it could just be one of those very narrow rain shafts that we sometimes see in our HD cameras each and every afternoon. But again, amazing cloud structure right there, just an unbelievable day, and it almost looks like the sun is out already on the backside of that storm down to the south. So you can see the spinning right there. That's when you still see the spin, even though you don't have the red and the green, although maybe right there, there may be something on the south side, right over there to Nassau Parkway West.
Go back to the reflectivity for you here.
Yeah, it's kind of hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's the most intense part of that cell. So, we don't see this a lot here in Central Florida, the stuff like this. But just got to sit there and wait it out. And we'll at the top of the hour here, I don't think we're going to have any more warnings. So we'll likely get off right around 8 o'clock and let you guys do your normal routines. But there's the 528 Cocoa Sharps. Some strong gusty winds there down to the south. Look at this, Alex. That is getting a little bit stronger there and moving up towards the Palm Bay. Oh, they zoomed in. Yeah, so they're looking at that closely for us there, and then kind of hard to tell. It's when we zoom in, and sometimes the picture does become a bit more grainy, and then I think that's what's going on there right now. But I appreciate the attempt in the back. That's excellent work, guys. Appreciate that a lot. So there's the wind.
I was showing
go ahead.
50 earlier. Now I can't get it again there, but on that green, the bright green color, it's getting closer to the radar. So that really bright green color up to the north of that, that's not as impressive. Latest scan just came in. There you go, 56 mile an hour winds heading right towards the radar there.
That's Melbourne's radar?
Yep.
Just out of curiosity, does the terminal Doppler reach that far?
Let's take a look.
It's going to be on the outer edge. That's not going to work. All right. We'll just stick with the Melbourne radar there. It's still a good ways to the north and east, so it's still going to be, I think, valuable for us with this particular thunderstorm. The hail core, still there. This one's fighting, Alex.
Yeah, it really is. I'll go ahead and loop this for us here. And you can see, again, the hail core from the severe storm. This is down in Osceola County. It was moving its way up towards the north and the east. And you can see very impressive hail. Yep. A radar indication of over 2 inches of hail there, moving right across the turnpike, right around Kenansville, and then back up towards Palm Bay. So it's on basically the Osceola-Brevard County border at the moment. I'll go ahead and stop that. And
so the Weather Service, by the way, is saying they are going to expire that Osceola severe soon as the main core heads into Brevard. The storm is still strong now, but they're gonna let it expire here at the top of the hour as well. So that's some good news.
Oh, they just canceled the tornado warning.
I was just gonna say the same thing. They did just cancel the tornado warning. All right, so here's what we're gonna do, folks. It is 10 minutes of 8. The worst of the weather appears to be now offshore. We'll continue to watch this cell to see what it does on approach to Palm Bay. If we feel the need to jump back in, A, because of a very large hail core, or B, something that, it kind of suggests maybe some rotation starting to come on in, we'll jump back on the air. But if you live in Melbourne, if you live in Palm Bay, if you live in over towards the FIT, the university there, we want you to stick with us. Have your weather radios ready to go. We're going to continue to watch this cell as it races off to the north and east. This is one corridor that has not been worked over as much as up to the north. So there's still a good amount of instability, and we don't want to let our guard down as this continues to lift back to the north and east. And more rains here redeveloping along the 528. The one last thing I want to do before we let you guys get back to what you're doing and our regular programming is I want to go back out, Alex, one more time. to the Gulf of Mexico. And I want to show that long line of storms that is pushing across portions there of the eastern Gulf of Mexico. And we're going to have to watch this long line and watch its behavior to see if, in fact, it's going to hold together. Now, the models tonight wanted to drag this through to 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. And I'm going to tell you straight up, at the pace that this is moving, this is going to be long gone before 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. It'll race right across the peninsula. And the problem with stuff like this is you can get a lot of wind damage. Not worried so much about hail. It's more of a wind issue here. So that's one of the things that we're going to have to watch. Alex, one more thing. Can you just give me the Tampa radar? This is a composite of multiple radars. So so that's coming into Cedar Key right now. And
those wires are going to continue to fall right along the coast.
So that's what we're going to have to watch here. This is probably about an hour and a half away from Denellen, and then it'll move right across Interstate 75 and then head our way. Now, this is a good ways away from the Tampa radar, but 67 miles an hour. We're going to watch the trends. If you look at this now, and then as it gets closer to you, it doesn't weaken, then you know what you're getting. If it gets closer to the radar and the winds are coming down, that's a good sign, and that's what we're going to hope for. Okay, it is time to let you guys get back to your normal routine here on WESH. We're going to grab a bite. We're going to get ready for tonight's 10 and 11. We're going to track this for you. We'll be on social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, giving you live updates on this as well. You guys have been great. Thanks for sticking with us, and I do appreciate all those videos from our friends over there in Brevard County and in Seminole County today. Thanks so much.